She's got a good draw this time round. Last time she came from the absolute clouds. Today she's drawn 3. Just about set. Larson's ice rears up. Settles down. And they're racing away. The favourite, Soft Landing, got a flyer, an early leader. Bold Eleanor, and as expected, School Assembly now loops them on the outside in search of the lead. Just off them, Larson's Ice is keen. Then we drop back to Starlet's also in touch. Just off them, She's a Star, Cast a Spell, Roxanne, Frisky Flag, Remembrance further back, and Fine Farthing. Amongst the back markers we find Badger's Gift, Red D'Or, Lee Danzig now. So School Assembly now takes up the lead, and School Assembly 1 length, Bold Eleanor, Starlet. Along the inside, Soft Landings perfectly placed. Larson's Ice, Cast a Spell, and the rider came down. One of the riders came down behind runners, racing about 9-10 lengths off them. Remembrance, Punter's Dream further back in the running as they come down towards the 600-metre marker, and there's 2 riders down. Looks like number 7, Fine Farthing, and also number 13. As they turn for home now, 500 out, and going to bring them off the rails. School Assembly by a length and a half. Starlet, Bold Eleanor, Larson's Eyes towards the outside, and Soft Landing's going to make her bit down the inside. School Assembly at the 200, Bold Eleanor. Soft Landing's now got a half a length to make up. Red Door, Bold Eleanor hits the front. Soft Landing on the inside, and right on the outside, running a big race is Roxanne coming home strongly. Roxanne's taking off. Soft Landing, Bold Eleanor, here it comes. Soft Landing got there from Bold Eleanor. Coming down to the wire, it's close in behind that. And the riderless horse 13, Golden Sheena, coming down to the last 75, and Soft Landing puts her stride together. Red Doors on the inside, but Soft Landing coming through to win it, and Soft Landing has won it. Bold Eleanor close up in second. Roxanne ran a cracker on the outside, but Soft Landing has won it. Coming down to the line, unfortunate incident down in front here. Number 7, Fine Farthing, broke down rather badly. But they come to the line. Soft Landing's beaten Bold Eleanor. Into third, Roxanne.
Well, incidents that we don't enjoy seeing at our racetracks anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. Sadly, 2 of the jocks came down. It was halfway to the race, but Mark, that was behind you. Those incidents were unfolding behind you. You had the run of the race. You were drawn 3. But before we touch on this filly's win, I'm sure the racing public will appreciate a comment on Elusive Fort and what you made of his run.
Yes, just touching on the July, I think he ran an impeccable race, 55 kgs 3-year-old, and I raced 4 to 5 deep the whole way, and he ran 5th. So, you know, I haven't spoken to Mr. Khan yet, but I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that run. It's a big run.
Now, this filly, you had the draw, you had everything in your favour from that draw, but she was thrown, I thought, as a likely race filly. She had a bit to do.
These, you know, I thought so myself, but I've given up these days doubting Jeff. He places them correctly, he puts them in the right races, and he's the master. You know, it's just nice to have a Grade 1 winner for the Mr. and Mrs. Divine. They've been waiting all day, and she's a nice filly. You know, I think he nearly got beat because they pulled back on her, and she's got a long stride, but she's a lovely filly.
At one stage, travelling to the home straight, I thought they were going to grab you, but she fought on courageously.
Yeah, you know, she dug down doggedly. As I said, they've gone quicker. She may have won by a further margin, and just thanks to the handlers, because she's quite fractious in the pens. Well done to them as well.
You'll have to come back next year for the July, but you're back too on this big day, and fantastic crowd.
We always come back, Dees. Thank you.
Well done to Mark Khan. Mark, your memento from one of the directors of the KwaZulu-Natal Racing chapter. Thanks to Tolikile Dlamini helping us with the presentation. Well done to Mark. Let's have Jeff in next. Jeff, we don't want to dwell on the subject. The Vodacom Durban July is past. It belongs to the eye of the tiger. But Mark said commendable performance from Elusive.
Yeah, 100% is, and I haven't had a chance to see Dean or any of the connections of Eye of the Tiger, and I'd like to wish them my very best. Good luck to them. They deserve it. They're nice people, well deserving. And I was very, very happy with Elusive Fort's run. I mean, he was trapped hopelessly wide, made up a lot of ground. To run fifth under those circumstances is a super run.
Now, coming back to this, filly, this early in a career to win a Grade 1, well done to you, Mark, and of course the Divines, because they also bred the filly.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, many congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Divine. I mean, not only did they breed the filly, they own the stallion, raced the stallion, so I mean, it really is a true homegrown affair. And she showed us from, I think, about her second race, I thought, this filly is a champion. She really is a champion. She won so well at, I think it was Newmarket, and I thought, well, fillies, guineas, inexperienced quarter out there, but she's seen it now, and I didn't realize this race was going to be under lights. You know, you kind of forgot about it, really, so late in the evening. But, well, she came through it wonderfully well, and she really is, she's top class.
Now, her future belongs to you. That means planning of future. Exciting times for the owners.
Well, very exciting. We know we've got a very good miler, but my own belief that she'll get 2,000 metres, and of course there's some very, attractive races for her to come. I think that we'll sit down, discuss it. We won't over-race her. She's not a type of filly that needs prep runs or anything like that, so we'll pick our races very carefully, but there are some very nice ones out there that we've got in mind.
Jeff, full marks to you for turning out supremely well. She's delivered for you. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done to trainer Jeff Woodruff. Now let's get the proud owners in. Of course, this is Mr. and Mrs. Henry Divine. Let's get them in. Let's get both of them into the shot. Before we touch on this win, this is what racing is about, Mr. Divine. Owning the stallion, breeding the racehorse, and racing in your colours.
Absolutely it is. You know, we waited 20 years for our first Grade 1. Then Jetmaster gave us 8 in a row. And since then, we've waited another 7 years for Grade 1. And now his baby's come out and won.
Now, before the race, Jeff, give you much confidence?
Jeff has always felt she's a very good filly. But it was a tough race, and he couldn't be absolutely certain. He said she'd run a good race.
Mrs. Divine, turning to the final four, there were nervous times because at one stage I thought they were going to pass her by.
Oh, I've been nervous for 10 days and I was terrified. I really was. And I thought at one stage they had actually headed her. And then she fought back so bravely. Wonderful jockey and fantastic trainer. And I love Greyville, my favorite course. I grew up here. My dad's office was just above here. From the age of 4, I used to watch the races. I wanted to be a jockey. I grew too big.
Now, the day belongs to her as the filly winning the Grade 1, but
Yes.
Jetmaster, hasn't he performed superbly well?
Tremendous. Really, we could never have dreamt that such a wonderful racehorse would be such a wonderful stallion at stud. And bless him. And I wish I could give him a mare tonight, but I can't. Maybe he'll get a bunch of carrots instead.
So, Divine, last word from you. A fantastic day's racing.
Wonderful, wonderfully enjoyable. Thanks to the organisers. It's been a most magnificent Vodacom July.
Well done to you guys. That's your memento. Congratulations to the owners and the breeders of the 15-horse Soft Landing. She's a daughter of Jetmaster. Last and certainly not least, as always, the groom who's done a superb job in taking care of the filly, and his name is Simpiwe Mzizi. Well done to you, Simpiwe. A job well done. Your filly looks superb in the parade ring. Congratulations to you. And lastly, thanks to Tolikile Dlamini, one of the directors of the KwaZulu-Natal Racing Chapter, who helped us with that presentation. The 2006 Garden Province Stakes, a Grade 1 event, belongs to the Jeff Woodruff trained Soft Landing.